Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest on the line, Berner. What's up, brother?
What up? Long time no see, my brother.
You know, Berner, I would have to say, when we talk marijuana and cannabis, you were the first person I know that had their own marijuana cannabis line. Now, I don't know if it was legal or illegal back then, but you've been selling cookies for a long damn time. How long have you had the cookies?
Man, you know, cookies probably been about like 12, 15 years. I've been in the gray market. We call it the gray market, the traditional market, for about 20 years.
So how did you get into selling marijuana when it wasn't legal? I mean, it's legal everywhere now, especially, you know, medicinal. So how did you get into selling it, and how come you never got in trouble?
Well, you know, I was blessed to be in the Bay Area, which is like one of the most liberal places in the world when it comes to bud. But in 1996, they passed a law called Proposition 215, where you were allowed to buy, sell, and grow medically. And so there was a lot of loopholes in that law. And so I just, growing up, just kind of came up around that, you know what I mean? So I wasn't dumb doing shit out of state or nothing like that. I just stayed in my lane and just learned the game. And once it became rec, I was fully gamed up to go.
You know, I like that story because a lot of people will tell you, oh, don't get a job. Then that means you working for the man and just being an entrepreneur. But you actually learned a lot of the ins and outs of the marijuana business from having a job, working at a dispensary early on. And people don't understand the importance, because then it really prepared you to be able to start your own thing, right?
Yeah, and that's what separates us from everyone else. Like, as we roll out globally, not just nationwide, you know, we got Cookies Israel, we got Puerto Rico coming, we got so many things on deck, but we're providing an experience that, like, you can only learn hands-on, you know, to actually show the customer the bud, be knowledgeable about it. Our experience comes with 20 years in our storefront. So it's not like we just came for the money grab or just decide we want to just be, let's be a weed guy, let's just get it cracking. Like, we actually put real time into it, you know?
Does it bother you to see all these people now jumping into the business that before might have been condemning it?
Nah, you know, at the end of the day, you gotta adapt with change. You gotta know that people are gonna come rushing in once it changes a little bit. I just feel good knowing that they're so far away from us and they don't have the pure intention, so it's gonna show. You know what I mean? Like, culturally and just where their heart's at with the bud, it's gonna show that they're not really in it for the long run. So I feel good about it. Let them come in.
Even some politicians that were so against it are now like trying to get in the business. That has to be so ironic.
It's funny. It's funny to me.
And you stop the bootlegging of cookies, because it's like, it's so popular now. It's kind of like Jordans, like how they bootleg the Jordans and the Yeezys. I've seen so much bootleg cookies and nobody would know. So how can you tell if something is bootleg? Like, and how do you stop it?
Well, the best way to say it's like this: go to the store. There's hella stores. If you're not getting from the store, like, would you buy some Tylenol on the street from somebody if you had a headache? Hell no. You're gonna go to CVS or Walgreens or, you know, Safeway and get it. And so, same thing if you buy a Louis bag on the street. If you're in Times Square and you buy a Louis bag, you can't expect it to be real. You know what I mean? So it's like, people are not gonna sell the real deal on the streets, for sure not. Maybe they do, but it's too expensive to go buy in the store and kind of reflip it. So shout out to the cheers that keep my brand hot. But you want the real deal. If you're disappointed, if you get some shit, that's shame on you. Go to the store.
I'm not sure if that's my Wi-Fi. Is it mine?
No, that's Berner's Wi-Fi.
Okay, just making sure. I know mine is iffy too.
Now, with you in the weed game so strong, why do you still want to rap? Like, because you put out successful albums, but you do so well with weed, medicinal weed, partnerships you have with weed. Why continue to rap?
Can I tell you the truth?
Absolutely.
It's therapy, my brother. It's therapy. Like, this game is not glamorous the way people paint it to be. There's a lot of cutthroat shit. It's actually worse than when I was in the traditional market. So music's my therapy. I'm good at it. I'm an A&R at heart. I know how to pick good beats. I love to collaborate with people. I feel like I bring the best sound out of certain artists. So I fuck with it because I can. I don't have to do it. You say keyword, I don't have to do it. I don't need to do it. I don't rely on it. But when it comes to actually putting out projects, I run circles around people because I've been doing it I got 41 albums out. And truth be told, I could live off my music career if I didn't want to. Like, it makes enough money through iTunes, through shows, etc., that if I needed to fall back on it, I could. That catalog is strong. 41 albums, iTunes checks are solid. That's just bought a house in Montana of music money during the beginning of the pandemic. Not a cheap house either, a big boy. You know what I mean? So it's good money. It's good bankable money as well. Keyword, bankable.
And something that you love. And another thing that you're doing, because obviously 420 got to have Berner on the show, and you do have an event happening, a pay-per-view comedy show. So can you talk about that?
Yeah, during Corona, just everyone was doing these concerts, like rapping on screen and shit like that. I could never get myself to do it. I feed off the energy in the crowd. So I was like, what could I do that we could bring into people's homes, but then stays true to what I like to do? I'm like, comedy would be perfect. Everyone's doing live stream rap shows. It's cool, don't get me wrong, but I, as the artist, cannot do it. I get the vibe from the crowd. So, at the end of the day, I thought comedy would be great. No one's really done it. And we got a great lineup for y'all. And it's going to be perfect to complement the high on 420. People are going to laugh their ass off.
Yeah, my boy Cypher Sounds is on it, who, by the way, doesn't smoke but always looks high. If you look at Cypher Sounds.
He always looks high.
I thought he smoked for sure. Yeah.
Too.
Cypher Sounds, Bob Saget. You got Michael Blackson, Paul Rodriguez. You got motherfucking Lil Duval, Jeff Ross. It's going to be dope.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you chase a high? Because you smoke so much. Does it ever get to the point where it's like, this weed does nothing to me anymore?
I chase a flavor. Like, there's certain flavors that, like, this one right here, this is a good ass morning joint. This shit tastes like motherfucking Fruit Loops and cereal milk and it tastes so good. But I'm a flavor guy. I chase the flavor. I mean, high for me is like, yeah, I get stoned. And actually this time around 6 a.m. is the best high, because you wake up on a fresh mind and smoke a good joint. But I'm gonna go swim after this. I'm gonna go jump in the pool and get my little workout in. But I chase the flavors, man. The flavor is everything.
So you are living life. I just want to say, how many people out there can enjoy their life the way that you're able to do that? Like, you're up in the morning.
He's been doing this for a long time.
I know, that's what I'm saying. He's living the life though, because how many people get to do what they love and make money from it? Like, that's amazing.
The crazy thing is, like, cookies, the success of cookies is so, it's weird to me because I've always been the underdog. Envy, you know this, even with the music, with business, people, it's kind of like downplayed the vision. And so it feels really cool to be recognized the way we are right now as the #1 cannabis brand. And I wish I could talk some numbers with y'all, but the numbers ain't no joke either. Like, the amount of revenue we're bringing in and changing the game too at the same time, setting the standards, setting the platform. Like, people can't come in with some bullshit if we're sitting here. So
right.
Well, I would say one thing, one thing about Berner is I've known Berner a long time, and he's always shown me love. From, if I come into town, he always sends me a package. He sent it to me in New York when he's in town. He always shows me love. But I wanted to know, for people that don't know, break down the different strains of weed and what people would use weed for, whether it's sativa, indica, or hybrid. Break that down, because you're smoking in the morning. So what do you smoke in the morning?
I smoke. So typically, people say sativa is more for like the mind, like a head high. Indica is more for like the body. But just like anything else, the human body is different. So Angela might smoke an indica that kind of makes her mind kind of race a little bit. You might smoke a sativa that super puts you down. So it all depends on your body. But that's the good thing about, if you go in the cookie stores, like 70, 80 time was yours. This morning I'm smoking something super strong to kind of wake the game up, because I was like, oh man, it's 5:45. I got to get up. I got to get on camera. I got to get right. So, I find what I like and burn it, but Bud does so much, and it's so good for you, bro. Like, I got to send both of you guys the caps too. We got a new product. It's a mushroom CBD CBN blend. And
I like that.
It's incredible. Look, for the morning, we got clarity. It opens up your mind. It's like Adderall without your heart beating or feeling many. And then we got the bedhead for night, which gives you the best rest. But the mushrooms is the next thing too. You're gonna see your boy ahead of the game with the mushroom. It's so good for your body, man. And so I gotta send both of y'all some caps. They're legal. You won't get in trouble. But they're incredible for the morning and the night, for sure.
I'm glad you said that, because I always tell the guys, like, I think I'm the only one out of the three of us that have actually tried mushrooms.
Yep.
And you guys are kind of nervous to do it, but I do always say it feels like something when I first tried it that I would do, that it doesn't, like, when it wears off, I feel perfectly normal. I'm fine. It doesn't last too long for me. What can people do? Like, have you ever felt too high is it just nothing you could do about it but wait for it to come down? Or is there anything that you can do if you're feeling like, all right, I'm too high right now?
Yeah, you're gonna like this. So as we start to open up consumption lounges around the world, right? We have a product that we've developed with Dr. Ethan Russo, is like the leading cannabis scientist in the world, like big boy scientist. And essentially, if you get too high, you can take this inhaler and it'll bring you right back down. So as we open up consumption lounges, there's gonna be a bunch of people in Vegas, in New York, in the Bay, in LA that come to get high with their friends that get a little too high, just a little, one little inhale, and you're gonna be right back to ground zero. You're gonna be good. So that's gonna be tight. Like,
Yo, I got gummies upstairs that they said that if you're too high off a gummy, you take this gummy and it brings you back down.
Does it work?
I've never got that high to take it.
Because that's the worst
Yeah,
feeling when you know
bro.
you're high, but there's nothing you could do about it. And you're like, I just got to sit here and wait it out.
you can't turn off. Edibles like a roller coaster, man. Don't take them and be that should be too strong, bro. It'd be too strong.
Now, I wanted to also talk to you about, I saw you discussing, and I really loved your response, right? Your store, one of your stores, they actually broke in and stole like $1 million worth. And obviously people were protesting in the streets. And your response was, if you can just discuss that, because I know a lot of people who are store owners, when there were protests and their stores were getting damaged and looted, what did you have to say when that happened to you?
You know, first thing is like, look, it sucks obviously, but I understand why it happened. I respect why it happened. It's part of the world, right? Like the world is in such an angry state, and they've killed multiple people on camera and keep rubbing it in our face and act like it's not a big deal. And so as a minority owner in any business, just being out here being racially profiled when I'm out and about, I understand 100% what was going on. So I told my guards to stand down. No one needs to die over this shit. It's just money. I could bounce back real quick, but you cannot get that man's life back. Like, that man's life was taken from him, and it was televised, and the whole world watched it. And so we are a part of what the world's reaction was. We were in the way of the storm. And so you can't get mad when it rains, right? And so my whole thing was like, dude, I understand why it happened. And I wasn't mad at it at all. A bunch of people online talking shit, getting super mad. I'm like, how could you not understand where people's hearts were at when that happened? That shit was like, and it keeps happening. It's still happening. Look what happened to the 13-year-old boy in Chicago. So it's like, at the end of the day, like, you know, I felt what the world was feeling, and I understood it, and I just took it because it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, how could you trip on some money when someone just lost their father? It just doesn't work like that.
And now we're waiting for the outcome of Derek Chauvin's trial. So we'll see what happens after that. They're trying to prepare for that across the country too. But
that's gonna be some bullshit. If you kill somebody, your ass needs to go to jail. It's on camera. Like whether he had COVID or whether he was on drugs, whatever it was, that motherfucker's his knee was on his neck for how long? It's on camera. You cannot say that that's justifiable. So I hope that they do the right thing in that.
Absolutely.
can you talk to us about the Couch Lock Network also? Now I know that you do have the comedy show happening on 420, but just give us some more insight on what the plans are.
Yeah, so a network is a life goal thing. I finally leveled up to where I could want to do a lot more than just music. Like, what do I want to do? And I felt like when you turn on MSNBC or you turn on CNN, all this shit's just negative. It's like they're just feeding us and programming us with negative ass shit. So this is my opportunity to do three things: live stand-up comedy events. I'm gonna do scripted comedy films that are super original to area on the way that Spike Lee put on the East Coast, the way that Matt Damon and the boys did as well, but also bring a good news network too. A lot of positive shit happens in the world that people are not highlighting. And so as an activist of just like peace and happiness, I want to be able to start putting this kind of content out and hopefully get a deal like Puff one day. Puff got Revolt and he gets to program what he wants, right? And so it's like, whether it be a streaming thing or just online thing, create just a good vibes network. That's all I really care about.
Mm-hmm.
Well, tell people how they can see the comedy show today, and we would like a package. We won't be able to smoke some cookies today, but I'm sure if you send us a package.
Hey, we got people everywhere, man. Someone's gonna pull up to you for the holiday. Look, man, you can hit the link in my bio. It's gonna be incredible. We're gonna bring you into our world, into the Bay Area. Couch Lock Network first event, comedy event, stand-up comedy event, live in San Francisco.
All right.
One more thing I wanted to ask though, have you always had this entrepreneurship mindset? Because I saw you posting about the hotel and how your goal is to own a hotel one day. And then you have this network. Obviously you have cookies. So can you tell us where that mindset came from for you?
My parents always told me, don't work for nobody else, start your own business. Even if it doesn't work for you, just be your own boss. So that was installed in my head as a little kid. My father had a Mexican restaurant. I seen what he did growing up, and it was never enough for us. Like it's tough. You can only sell a burrito or a taco for so much. So I was like, what can I do? And I just kind of followed my gut. I don't know what it was, but I've been working since I've been 12. I lied about my age, got my job, and started stacking my bread and flipping my bread. And, that's just the way I am. Maybe it's the Bay Area. Bay Area is, independent blueprint central. So
you must have looked like a grown-ass 12-year-old to be.
Man, I was a big kid. I was definitely I definitely got caught up lying on my age, but I was getting money. I was getting tips like I was a waiter. So it was big,
Berner, we appreciate you for checking in. And
yes, I'm gonna stop by. I'm gonna stop by Cookies because I'll be in Detroit next week. So I'm gonna make sure.
Oh man, come by 8 Mile. We got you, sis. Hit me up. We got you. And obviously, hopefully Cookies New York soon too.
Woo!
There
That's
you have
big.
it. Thank you, Berner. We appreciate you for checking in.
All right,
Thank
y'all.
you.
Thank you.
That's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.